the beautiful love story of Boaz and Ruth, a journey of faith and redemption. Long ago, in the land of Israel, during the time of the judges, there was great famine across the land. In the small town of Bethlehem, a man named Elimelech lived with his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Hunger and hardship filled the land, and so Elimelech decided to move his family to the country of Moab, hoping to find a better life there. But in this foreign land, tragedy struck. Elimelech died, leaving Naomi a widow in a strange country. Her sons eventually married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth, and for a time Naomi's heart began to heal. But after 10 years, another wave of sorrow came. Both of her sons died, leaving Naomi and her daughters-in-law alone, broken and grieving. With tears in her eyes and pain in her heart, Naomi decided to return to her homeland of Bethlehem. She told Orpah and Ruth, "Go back to your mothers. May the Lord grant that you find rest in another home." Orpah kissed her and returned to Moab. But Ruth refused to leave her. In one of the most powerful declarations of love and loyalty ever spoken, Ruth said, "Do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried." Those words changed the course of both their lives forever. The return to Bethlehem. When Naomi and Ruth arrived in Bethlehem, the town was buzzing with whispers. "Is this Naomi?" the women asked. But Naomi replied bitterly, "Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me." They had returned with nothing, no money, no husband, no security, but Ruth was determined to provide for them. So she went out to gather leftover grain in the fields, as poor people were allowed to do during harvest season. By divine providence, the field she entered belonged to Boaz, a wealthy and kind man, and a relative of Naomi's late husband, Elimelech. Boaz noticed Ruth right away. He saw her humility, her hard work, and the way she cared for Naomi. He asked his workers, "Who is that young woman?" They replied, "She is the Moabite who came back with Naomi from Moab." Boaz called Ruth over and said gently, "Listen, my daughter, don't go to another field to gather grain. Stay here with my servants. I have told the men not to harm you, and when you are thirsty, you may drink from the water jars they have filled." Ruth fell to the ground and asked, "Why have I found such favor in your eyes since I am a foreigner?" Boaz smiled and said, "I have been told about all that you have done for your mother-in-law, how you left your father and mother and came to live among a people you did not know before. May the Lord reward you for your kindness." That day Ruth gathered more grain than she ever expected. When she returned home and told Naomi what had happened, Naomi's eyes filled with tears of joy. "The Lord has not stopped showing his kindness," she said. "Boaz is our kinsman redeemer." The night at the threshing floor. Weeks later, when the harvest was nearly over, Naomi told Ruth to go to the threshing floor, where Boaz was sleeping beside his pile of grain. "When he lies down," Naomi said, "uncover his feet and lie down. He will tell you what to do." This was not an act of immorality. It was a humble, respectful way for Ruth to ask Boaz to redeem her, to protect and marry her as the law of the time allowed. That night, as the moonlight shone over the fields, Ruth approached quietly. She lay at Boaz's feet. Around midnight, Boaz awoke startled and asked, "Who are you?" Ruth answered softly, "I am your servant Ruth. Spread the corner of your garment over me, since you are a kinsman redeemer." Boaz was deeply moved. "The Lord bless you, my daughter," he said. "You have not run after the younger men. Don't be afraid. I will do for you all you ask." But Boaz explained there was another relative closer than he who had the first right to redeem her. If that man refused, Boaz promised he would redeem her himself. The redemption. The next morning, Boaz met with the other man and 10 elders of the town. The man refused to redeem the land and marry Ruth, so Boaz declared before them all, "You are witnesses today that I have bought from Naomi all that belonged to Elimelech and his sons. I also take Ruth the Moabite as my wife." And all the people cheered, saying, "May the Lord make this woman like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel." Boaz and Ruth were married, and soon after they were blessed with a son named Obed. Naomi, once bitter and broken, held her grandson with tears of joy. The women said to her, "Naomi has a son," and she cared for him as her own. Obed grew up to become the father of Jesse, who became the father of King David. And through David's line came Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world. From sorrow to joy, from emptiness to fullness. Ruth's story reminds us that faithfulness and kindness never go unnoticed by God. Her journey from a widow in a foreign land to the great-grandmother of a king shows that love, loyalty, and divine destiny can turn the darkest night into morning light. Please like, subscribe, and share for more inspiring Bible stories.